Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to my playthrough of Max Payne 3. I hope that you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, do drop a like. It does help the series out a lot. Let's continue from where we left off.
I owe you everything.
No, you don't. I'm sorry I couldn't save your sister.
I was there. It wasn't your fault.
I was paid to protect her and I didn't.
She married into a sick family.
Maybe.
I just wanted to say thank you for giving us a chance to live. I mean, as a family.
I hope it all works out for you, for all of you.
Thank you. Don't be too long.
Well, buddy, that's it.
Where are you guys gonna go?
I don't know, maybe back to New York, maybe down to Argentina. Giovanna has family in Salvador. Maybe we'll just stay there.
Me, I got business to take care of.
I'm sorry I dragged you into this. I know it was very wrong.
It's all right, it's done. And hey, I'm having myself a fun old time. Maybe this is how things had to be. Figure I might as well die in the sunshine as die in the snow.
Look, I'm sorry I'm leaving. I got a kid coming. You know how it is.
I know how that is.
You know, I almost didn't say goodbye to you. I said to myself, maybe this guy will put a bullet in me.
Maybe I will. But not right now.
Thank you. Try to look after yourself, Max, huh? Life is worth living.
So notice in this scene how when Paso says life is worth living, that the dialogue actually is highlighted. It shows up big bold letters on the screen. And that's because one of the things in Max Payne 3 is that Max has to kind of overcome his grief and just move on with his life. And that's one of the themes of the game. And that's why there should never be a Max Payne 4. And also because nobody can do Max Payne except James McCaffrey. So, Max Payne 3 is about him moving on with his life. Moving on for the terrible things that had happened to him in the previous games. But about Passos' role, Passos did not go to the academy with Max. That was made up. Victor found Max because for Victor, Max is the perfect fall guy. So how it was supposed to work is that Marcelo and Victor were smuggling laundered cash to Panama. And Marcelo was dating Daphne Bernstein, an American who owned the yacht, got it from a divorce from her, ex-husband who worked on Wall Street. And she was taking the yacht and, going through the Panama Canal. And at that point, Marcelo was going to take the laundered cash and then smuggle it out and give it to that banker in Panama where it's easy to launder. Now, this would have attracted normally a lot of attention. They had to get off the canal, especially with these bags of cash. And the canal is very heavily guarded. However, though, the pirates, the reason they were tipped off was so that they could basically smuggle in the cash, because the pirates aren't going to be looking for Marcelo and Passos fleeing. They're going to be looking for the pirates who just, jacked the yacht. And about Passos is that Passos knew the pirates were coming, but Passos did not know that the pirates were going to mass murder everybody. That's why he says, I didn't think things would be like this. This is brutal. And so the purpose of Max Payne being there is Max is going to be the fall guy. They were going to, blame it all on him. And they were probably going to deny any connection to him, saying he worked for Daphne Bernstein. That's probably what they were going to say. He's an American. He worked for Daphne, not for Marcelo, not for, Rodrigo. And they were going to say it's his fault. He didn't protect the hostages. But then Passos ended up feeling bad. And Giovanna probably pushed him also, to go and save Max. That's pretty much what it's about. Passos had no involvement with the Crusher Preto. He had no involvement with UFE. He didn't know about the human organs. I know some people say that Passos knew about the human organs because he says, you can get a new liver, but that was just foreshadowing. It was just a joke. He didn't know anything about the human organs.
If you say so, pal.
I thought I was going to have to witness another murder.
Nah. Not him.
You ready?
I guess.
Okay. I've looked through this information you gathered. And it's not very nice.
What is it?
It's the UFE. The famous Mr. Becker.
Friend of Victor Bronco.
Yes. And a contributor to his campaigns. A government employee, of course.
And?
A weapons dealer. A murderer. This was known. A dealer in human organs. This wasn't known.
A proper gentleman.
Sure.
So you're gonna bring him down?
Yes, because I want to lose my wife and my children and then get killed myself. All that after watching him walk free.
Tell me what has to be done.
Well, officially, there's nothing I can do.
And unofficially?
Well, we can always try something a little more creative.
Creative? De Silva had promised me a 10 o'clock showcase. I had to make sure I was on stage and ready for my close-up. Diga a Becker. Que vim para ele. Ah!
Ei, olha aqui. Tropa. Ei, moço. Mano, quem é esse cara aí?
Manda tua conta, rapaz.
Vai se fuder, ó. Meu conta eu quero saber da culpa.
Ela não desgruda dela, meu.
Ei, quem é essa cara aí?
Convidado nosso. Quebra esse otário aí.
Deixa comigo, me dá uma lição nele.
Então, o pai dela não desgruda. Ladrão, filha da puta! Vai atrás de inocente! Vai se fuder aqui dentro, rapaz! Vamos aqui! Eu não fiz nada! Aqui que você vai se proteger, cara! Tá pensando o quê? Hã? Onde é que você vem? Fica aí, cara! Eu? Se fudeu, filha da puta! Otário! Vai, aí, otário! Deixa eu sair daqui, né?
Ô, segura a porta aí.
Eu vi uma outra versão. Olha, mandando aquela parada lá, hein?
Demorou.
Chega aí.
Valeu, amigo. Hey, what are you doing here? Huh? I ask you a question. Answer him. Answer him. What are you doing? What? What are you doing here? O que você está fazendo aqui? What are you doing here?
I don't understand. I can't hear you.
What are you doing here?
You hit me in the ear.
Hey, answer me. What are you doing here?
Back in the precinct after all this time. Time to find out what the hell was going on. I knew nothing resembling good times lay beyond that gate, but I was gonna have to face the music sooner or later. I guess our little stunt helped some other civic-minded people raise valid concerns about community relations. Their faces said it all. I was on their side, but how could they know that? If they came through that door, I'd be leaving as a human shield and never leaving at all. Luckily for me, for once the police arrived just in time.
If you want to know how they managed to defeat UFE so
It
easily,
sounded
a lot
like
of
all hell was breaking loose. Whatever nonsense De Silva had pulled, it seemed to be working.
a lot of the UFE cops are not actually trained. They got their positions through corruption. So here, drugs and money, UFE are definitely pocketing this. They're definitely stealing this. And, offerens os recompensas e dinero a quem tiver informacios que levar a captura destes homens. I understand a little bit. Homens, I'm assuming, means men. Information, dinero means money. Dinero means money. So, reward for basically capturing these men. Bottom part, I don't understand. And there's also a note here on Max Payne. Max Payne, País de Origin, place of origin, that's probably what that means. Estados Unidos, that means United States. Sospieto, preso, na. Yeah, I don't understand the rest of that. If anybody can translate that in the comments, I would appreciate it. And also, thank you to all my viewers who have been translating a lot of what the characters have been saying in the game. I really appreciate it.
Por favor. Eu te fiz uma pergunta, pô. A gente não tinha nada a ver contigo.
And there's actually an Easter egg right here. Clue, secret. Remember this guy?
Hey, yeah, you.
Look who it is, Mr. Strip Club Scumbag.
You.
Yeah, me.
High and mighty. Oh, you ain't gonna help me.
You get what you deserve, pal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable.
They were legal.
Mm-hmm. That pervert could enjoy his time. Seemed the anti-drug squad had a few habits of its own. The last few prisoners were trapped in here, and more presently, seemed I was too.
A lot of these guys have plate carriers and helmets, so it's pretty hard to kill them all.
The security switch had to be in that booth.
And,
Figured I'd bag those up for evidence.
There's a clue here, and I'll play the dialogue from my playthrough 5 years ago, because it sucks that once you replay the game, you can't hear the dialogue anymore for the clues.
It was Monday's arrest log, as far as I could tell, and no sign of anybody from Nova Esperanza. All those poor bastards have been checked straight into the Imperial Palace Hotel. That kid had the right idea. There was no point bouncing bullets off that thing. I decided I'd try to pick up where he left off. And then immediately regretted that decision.
That armored car is called the Cavaliero, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's a real-life armored car that the Brazilian military police use.
Well, wasn't this nice? The perfect end to a perfect trip. If someone had told me 6 months ago this was where my life was headed, I'd have ordered a double of whatever they were drinking, drunk it, then blown my head off.
Que porra você tá tentando fazer? Quebra as pernas dele! Cadê?
Another dark, rainy night. Another police station. Another futile crusade for amends. Time moves forward. Nothing changes.
Sou melhor que você, Sam. Pra você, seu bosta!
Every bastard in the joint must have known I was on the loose by now. I couldn't afford to waste any more time. Special Forces painkillers.
Agora é a sua vez! Atira no filho da puta, porra! Vamos foder com vocês!
Police food. The same crap the world over. But I could reminisce about the old days later. For now, there was more pressing matters to deal with.
And this is gonna be another clue. Oh, right here. I'll play the dialogue for you guys.
Becker's blood money from the good doctor. Serrano had canceled one side of that transaction. The other was on me.
Arthur Fisher. Arthur Fisher is the doctor. He's that human organs doctor.
They'd come from the control room. It looked like the security cameras were still running. About the only friend I had left in that town. It looked like the prisoners were giving them a run for their money. That's what happens when you hand some roided-up halfwit a commando uniform with special on the front and let him ride around his hometown in a tank playing soldiers. Sooner or later, someone's gonna decide he's not so special. There were a bunch more in the elevator, tooled up like they were about to roll into Fallujah. And of course, they were headed my way.
us. When Max said they were about to roll into
If the heat was
Fallujah,
rising, that meant I was getting closer to the source. I had to keep moving.
he was talking about Fallujah, which was a battle in Iraq, where the U.S. fought Al-Qaeda, and it was one of the most brutal battles in Iraq, and it was a lot of close quarter fighting, house to house.
I saw the elevator doors were open. If there was one thing I learned since being in Sao Paulo, it was that me and the local elevators were not a good mix. Whatever depressing fate lay on the other side of those doors, there was no point in putting it off any longer.
This guy now, oh boy. Got him pretty quickly there.
I'd killed more cops than cholesterol, and still no sign of Becker. It wasn't the first time it dawned on me I should probably have gone over the plan in more detail, but it was too late for that now.
There's another clue in this room. I'll borrow this. Right here, I'll play the dialogue for you guys.
AUP. Those were the guys who jumped the yacht in Panama. And what was this? Had the Brazilian cops tipped them off about the money?
United Souls of the People, yeah. This is the terrorist organization that raided the yacht. Yeah, Death Squad. Stronghold in the jungles. Active in Colombia.
If I didn't hurry, Becker would be long gone. About the only friend I had left in that town.
Oh, and the other clue is right here.
Sao Paulo's own David and Goliath. I'd pinned De Silva as a coward, but he'd risked more than anyone, and he'd never taken a bribe.
De Silva had never taken a bribe. Okay, we're stocked up on painkillers and... Okay, I dropped the machine gun somewhere, but whatever. Keep the submachine gun for now, then.
I still didn't know how I'd gone from drinking myself numb in New Jersey to looting corpses in Brazil. But this was where I was, 5,000 miles from a home I couldn't go back to, on another suicide mission to clean up a mess that wasn't even mine.
In this room, there's another clue.
I'd spent my career dozing off in the briefing room. Now wasn't the time.
Comando Sombra, Nova Esperanza. Let's see if we can make sense of this here. Areas of control. Serrano, leader do Comando Sombra. Pretty easy to understand that. Viva o Morto. That means alive or dead. I understand that. That a little bit I understand. I take Spanish lessons, and so a lot of the words are similar from Spanish and Portuguese. Very similar. Tropa Z. And Tropa Z gets into a war with Comando Sombre after the story. They blame them for Claudio's death because he comes from the neighborhood, so they attack Nova Esperanza. That's the other gang Max fought in the favela. Familia Branco, Rodrigo Branco, Fabiana Branco, Marcelo. Alva de Alta Prioridade. I don't understand that, but Max Payne. Americano Segurança Privada, ex-policial, ex-cop, probably. Raul Passos, Visitu Pela Ultima Ves Termida da Paz, Paradiero Desconhecio, or Assassinito Terrorismo La Vena de Dinero. If anyone can translate these slides. And also, Max has dialogue for the slides. I'll actually play it from my playthrough 5 years ago.
The CS were all but out of business in Sao Paulo, and suddenly Becker and Victor looked like local heroes in the war on crime. They'd really gotten their money's worth outsourcing their problems onto me. My old pal Serrano. We'd both been unwitting clowns in this sorry circus. Part of me hoped he'd made it out of that hotel alive. I didn't recognize the guy. Maybe this was the new slum king De Silva had talked about. A throne never stays empty for long. Fame at last. It was no great surprise I'd made UFE's most wanted list. I hadn't done much to improve the reputation of Americans abroad over the past few weeks, and there they were. My illustrious employers, 3 dead and still every chance I'd go 4 for 4. None of this was gonna look good on the resume. And I was in good company. Raul Passos, sent up north to find a washed-up gringo who would act tough and play dumb. Boy, did he ever deliver.
Okay. Oh, I don't like that light. A lot of the enemies will also rapidly advance on you, which you can use that to your advantage. This looks like an evidence locker room. Yeah, this is the evidence room.
It was starting to feel as if I'd never leave that place. Like one of those nightmares where you keep running and running, only to discover you're chasing yourself. Nothing I was gonna find in there could make a difference now. I had all the evidence I needed.
Oh. Nice. I'll use this. And, you get a flak vest in, one of these parts here. I'll see if I can find it, too.
Tear gas. This wasn't good. I needed to find a way out of that stairwell and fast. My eyes and throat burned, but at least I could breathe. I was trying to work out what direction I was headed in when I discovered some more Brazilian architecture not designed for the American physique.
Okay, and, here, you're gonna have a big, answer to what happened to Rodrigo.
There it was, the tape from the Bronco security system. Jesus, it was that guy. I had seen him in the favela. Bachmeier, Becker's right-hand man. His time would come. Him and Becker.
Bachmeier, that was the Becker's second-in-command who killed Rodrigo. He was waiting in there, he probably came with Becker originally, and he was probably waiting, and hid somewhere up on the rooftop. And then when, Victor probably gave him the code to get in. That's probably how he got in.
It was time to bring this nightmare to an end.
Then he escaped by helicopter. The Crusha Preto were there to kill mainly Max. And also, here's the thing is, so three of the really bad guys in this game, Arthur Fisher, who's the human organs doctor, Armando Becker, the leader of UFE, and Bachmeier, the second-in-command of UFE. If you look at these names, Bachmeier, Becker, and Fischer, all three of these names are not Brazilian names. These are German names, and it's implied that these three characters could actually be descended from Nazis. So a lot of Nazis had actually gone to Brazil and South America after World War II. That's where they actually fled from. So guys, I went through the rest of the mission, and I made one mistake when I finished the level. I realized I never went to the TV, and I forgot that there was actually a TV in this mission. This is the final TV, and the TVs don't count towards a clue achievement trophy, but they're very important, so I went back through the mission and wanted to show you guys it. So this is the final TV in the game, and these TVs are very important to understand the story.
O seu dinheiro representa o seu futuro. Mantenha-o seguro com o Banco Boitatá. Para a sua casa, o seu carro ou o seu negócio. Venha falar com Boitatá.
Threatens to be the worst volcanic eruption in Ecuador for 40 years.
The epidemic of violence that grips Brazil's major cities continues to worsen. On Monday, a massive gun battle between drug gangs and special forces police in the favela of Nova Esperança left 150 people dead or critically injured. Mayoral candidates were divided on the reactions to the altercation. Camila Machado blamed the police force for acting without restraint and effective government oversight. Victor Branco, whose eldest brother was murdered last week and whose youngest brother is missing and is feared to have been an innocent victim in Monday's gun battle, issued a statement calling for more funding for law enforcement and vowing to stop at nothing to make Sao Paulo safe again. In Buenos Aires, the world's largest chorizo caused quite a stir.
So, Victor had both his brothers killed to make it seem like he was a victim of the gangs, to boost his popularity, and make himself look like a hero, taking Rodrigo's fortune, and on top of that, he's when he's mayor, he's gonna keep funding UFE, who are gonna go into the favelas and arrest, you know, so many poor people and then hand them off to the Crush of Preto.
I couldn't get that tape out of my head. Why had UFE killed Rodrigo? I wasn't gonna find any answers in the forensics lab. I had to push on.
Hey, pal. Nice to see you.
Vai pra casa, gringo de merda.
I don't think we've been properly introduced.
I know who you are.
Then you should have killed me in the office when you had the chance.
There's still time, meu camarada.
Tudo bem, rapaziada?
Now in this part, you gotta really watch out, especially on hardcore mode. The enemies are gonna have sniper rifles and they kill you in 2 shots. Okay, got him.
Another pile of bodies and still nothing to show for it. It felt like I was detaching, that maybe this was revenge for something else, something buried deep in the past.
And here we got the final clue in the game, the flak vest.
It was a little late to be thinking about precautions, but something told me this shit show was barely through the warm-up act.
So look guys, I got the vest on too, taking the cosplay really seriously here.
Rodrigo, Giovanna, Passos, everyone who'd meant anything was gone. Like so many times before, I'd found myself alone, locked on a course of destruction. It was at my worst when I was at my best.
Oh, the training course, this part is gonna get a bit hard.
Tô caindo fora, me dê cobertura! Você consegue se levantar?
That guy up there's got a sniper rifle. 2 shots to kill you in hardcore. Gotta get rid of him. Fast. Flashlight distracts me too much.
It felt like I was going around in circles, getting further away from the truth. I had to find my way out of there.
This scene right here shows how poorly trained UFE is. These guys are just nothing but a bunch of corrupt cops who bribed their way to get to their positions. They never really saw any combat, never really fought any dangerous gangs, so they just raid the favelas and just round up poor people. And so you see, they're taking cover behind planks like this. Anyone, even a tiny bit of training, would know that would not save you from a bullet. You can choose to kill him or not. He gets to live because he's the smartest UFE officer in the game.
Becker and Bachmeyer had taken their pound of flesh and sold it on the black market. Now I was coming for mine.
Can anyone translate this scene?
Beleza, rapaziada, bom trabalho. Só tô esperando a confirmação do outro grupo, mas o gringo já deve estar morto agora.
Senhor, ele não parece estar morto!
Filho da puta, pelo amor de Deus!
Now it's on.
Americans love to interfere in things you do not understand.
Oh, I understand plenty, asshole.
How stupid can one man be?
Ele me pegou!
Couldn't get a direct shot. I was gonna have to get creative. It was a waste of bullets. His cover was too good.
You're even crazier than I thought! You should know when to walk away! What are you hoping to achieve here?
Okay, now.
You even see what a joke you are?
That was too quick of a death. He deserved a much worse death than that.
This was the passkey to Becker's office. I was close to the end of all this, and I could feel it.
Now, in this part, a lot of people miss this small little detail, but make sure you watch Becker for the first second that you see him in the room. Look at what he does. You saw that right there? He's doing the sign of the cross, which is a prayer in Christianity. So he basically thinks that he's gonna die, and all the horrible, evil things that Becker has done, and he has the nerve to ask God for forgiveness. You see, shows you how much of a scumbag that Becker is.
Becker! Something funny about dying? I felt like the avenging angel. I looked like a fat bald dude with a bad temper.
You disgusting piece of shit! I know everything!
Not everything, my friend. Let go of him, Max. Huh? Hmm? There's a good fellow.
Well. Victor, I was wondering when you'd reappear out of whatever slimy hole you live in.
I'd like to just say, Max, I just want to say thank you for all your hard work, for my family, and for cleaning up that horrible mess with the Crachá Preto for us. You know I'm tough on crime. I give you a bonus, but I think you just fritter it away. Becker, take his gun.
Toma, seu filho da puta!
They had barred the door. My only hope was to chase them down. I knew they'd be leaving town, and my guess is they would try to fly out of here. Rich people love to fly away.
God damn it!
Okay, guys, so I hope you guys are enjoying the series. There's still one more part, the final mission. I'll have the final chapter for you guys as soon as I can. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.